Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind Meditation. Our teacher for this week is Jack Cornfield. And the title of today's message is, If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. Does your compassion include yourself? Let's get into today's message. Compassion, or the importance of having compassion, is a familiar melody in personal growth circles. Even so, self-compassion seems to remain an underdeveloped skill, not because we don't try, but if our shortcomings were treated harshly while we grew up, then it's likely that we struggle having acceptance for ourselves unless we're being perfect. Anami, very good morning. It's great seeing you. Hello. Danae, good morning. Sunmari, good morning. Hello, beautiful human beings. It's awesome seeing you. Anthony, a very good morning to you, dude. Great to see you. The first thought from Jack Cornfield is the title that I just read to you. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. Compassion has to include being compassionate towards yourself. Today's meditation is an exploration of self with the intent to see if we can find compassion for ourselves, even for the parts that we perhaps don't so much like. The next thought from Jack Cornfield is, the emotional wisdom of the heart is simple. When we accept our human feelings, a remarkable transformation occurs. Tenderness and wisdom arise naturally and spontaneously. He says when we get to a place where we can have full acceptance for any feeling that we have, then tenderness and wisdom arise naturally and spontaneously. Where we once sought strength over others, now our strength becomes our own. Where we once sought to defend ourselves, we laugh. Most of us were taught that we were only acceptable when we displayed the very best aspects of ourselves, that the moment we struggle or feel a bit low, we are unacceptable. Jack Cornfield speaks about it this way. He says, ours is a society of denial that conditions us to protect ourselves from any direct difficulty and discomfort. We expend enormous energy denying our insecurity, fighting pain, fighting death, loss, and hiding from the basic truths of the natural world, also hiding from the basic truths of our own nature. One of the basic truths of being human is that some days we will feel heavy and some days we will feel light. Some days we will feel the darkness and other days we will feel like light itself. How do we become better at navigating all of these good and bad feelings? And I'm trying to make it clear, good and bad feelings is a label that we attach to things. But how do we become better at navigating all of these good and bad feelings while continuing to become better at including ourselves in our circle of compassion? Jack has a simple and practical advice for how to open our arms to ourselves. He says, as we willingly enter each place of fear, each place of deficiency and insecurity in ourselves, as we willingly enter these places, we will discover that its walls are made of untruths, of old images of ourselves, of ancient fears, of false ideas of what is pure and what is not. Beatrix, a very good morning. It's great to see you. Hello. What he makes very clear is why we do better when we start having acceptance for the worst parts of ourselves, the worst emotions we experience. Why do we do better when we turn towards those experiences and have space for them? He says we do better because we discover that its walls are made of untruths. There really is no there. Old images of ourselves, ancient fears, false ideas of what is good and what is bad. This is how we will do it. not turning away from what scares us anymore. No more numbing out, no more running away, facing and accepting our own pretty and also ugly, until we can look upon ourselves with kind eyes, appreciating just how hard this human has been trying. When we have acceptance for our human feelings, a remarkable transformation occurs. We gain access to the strongest part of ourselves. We step into the inner strength that is able to hold all of this. We are introduced to our soul. By having acceptance for our big emotions, we get beyond them. Today's meditation is called A Sense of Self, and we will invite some of our inner children to come and sit with us so that we are practicing how to lean into big emotions. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. A deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Continue your full body breathing. Feel yourself rise with every inhale. Feel yourself fall with every exhale. And as we do, we are inviting those inner children to come and sit with us. The examples that I will use today are sadness, anger, and fear. The part of you that perhaps sometimes feels sad, the part of you that perhaps sometimes feels angry, the part of you that sometimes perhaps feels scared. Invite them closer. Ask them to come and sit with you, and perhaps you have different examples that you would like to use today, and you are welcome to. You can make an example of whatever you're busy dealing with right now. In my mind, the picture always looks like the grade 1 teacher calling the kids to come and sit on the carpet with her for something like story time. And it is something like that. Perhaps it's not exactly story time, but we are reminding these inner children that we are here to listen. Just imagine, and yes, you can lean into a bit of imagination here. Just imagine you could see these inner children sit and breathe along with you. Watch them also rise and fall with every inhale and exhale. I might ask you a few more times to see if perhaps you can find in your mind an image of what these inner children might look like. Now, it's not important that you have a visualization, but it's very helpful to open yourself to the possibility of seeing what sadness might look like. The part of you that sometimes feels sad, how would you see that part of you if you could take a good look at it? The part of you that sometimes feels really angry, how would you see that part of you if you could take a good look at it? And the part of you that sometimes feels scared, how would you see that part of you if you were able to take a good look at it? For now, we'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. And again, invite these inner children to take these breaths along with you. Take a deep breath in. And as you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. And invite these inner children to roll out their shoulders too. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take another big breath in. And as you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. And lean your upper body over to the right. And then one more time, take a deep breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want to remind you of these inner children that we invited to sit with us today. Bring them closer, remind them again that we are here to listen to them. We are here to understand. The examples we are using today are sadness, anger, and fear. The part of you that sometimes feels sad. The part of you that sometimes feels angry. And the part of you that sometimes feels scared. Bring them closer, and as you take a look at them, take your next big breath. We turn our attention first to sadness. And once again, as you take a good look at sadness, see if you're able to find a visualization, an image of what this part of you might look like. Once again, it's not important that you have to see, but it's helpful to open yourself to the possibility of an image. We want to remind ourselves of how sadness speaks within us. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, we are asking sadness to speak. Try and remind yourself of, in those moments, especially recent moments when you feel really sad, what are the emotions you're having then? What are the feelings you're feeling then? When you feel sad, what are the thoughts that go through your mind? The words that want to come out of your mouth? And specifically pay attention to the repetitive nature of these thoughts, feelings, emotions, words. Because it's very likely that every time you feel sad, it's the same recording or a very similar recording playing again and again in every sad moment. For now, just listen. Ask to be reminded. Let sadness speak to you. Take your next big breath. We have reminded ourselves of that recording, the way in which sadness speaks again and again. And now we're turning towards sadness. We're asking sadness this question. And the answer to this question is also in that recording. Perhaps sadness will answer when you ask. But know that the answer is there, and if you don't hear it right now, it will become clearer with time. For the moment, turn towards sadness, and as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask it this question. Say, sadness, in those moments when you feel so sad, what is it that you're afraid will happen? What are you afraid is going to happen? Now take your next big breath and listen. Take a moment to thank this part of you. Thank sadness for being here, for showing up, for being seen, for being heard. Thank sadness for helping you understand where it comes from, how it feels. We'll turn our attention next to anger. The part of you that sometimes feels really angry. And again, see if you're able to find a picture, an image, a visualization of the angry part of you. But it's not important. You're not doing it wrong if you're not getting a picture. But it's helpful if you open yourself to the possibility. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, we're asking anger to speak, to remind us of how it feels when we're angry. Perhaps you have some recent examples, or perhaps you have to search back a bit further. What are the thoughts going through your mind when you feel angry? What are the feelings in your body when you feel so angry? What are the words, the phrases, the sentences on repeat through your mind when you feel so angry? And pay particular attention to the repetitive nature of these thoughts and feelings. It's very likely to be the same recording playing every time you are angry. Now take your next big breath and ask anger to speak. We've asked anger to remind us of that recording, And now we'll turn towards anger, ask it a specific question, and see if we find the answer from that recording. You can trust that the answer is there. It's already been recorded. It's been playing over and over again. And perhaps you'll be reminded of the answer today. So as you turn towards anger, ask it this question. Say, anger, I get the feeling you're trying to be helpful. I get the feeling that when you're angry, you're trying to prevent something bad from happening. So, anger, when you're so angry, what is the bad thing you're trying to prevent? Ask anger, what is the bad thing that you're trying to prevent? And take your next big breath and listen. Take a moment to thank anger for being seen, for being heard. It is a brave thing to do. We have one more inner child to listen to, and this is fear. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask fear to speak. Remind yourself of what it feels like when you're scared. Perhaps you have some recent examples. What are the thoughts you think when you feel scared? What are the words, the phrases, the sentences that repeat, turning over and over in your mind when you feel scared? Take your next big breath. And then turn towards fear one more time and ask it this question. See if an answer comes. Say to fear, say, hey, fear. In those moments when you feel so scared, what is it that you truly want for me? What is your deep desire for me? Then take your next big breath and listen. And thank fear for being seen, for being heard. We know that that takes so much courage. We have the last few breaths of this phase to do together. slipping out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Invite these inner children to take these breaths with you and ask them to be exactly where it is that they want to be. Do they want to sit closer to you? Do they want to sit on you? Do they want to crawl inside of you? Or would they perhaps just want to go and play? Whatever it is that they feel. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. This exercise is a very practical example of what Jack Kornfield suggests. When we're turning towards sadness, anger, fear, and really listening to what's there and having a conversation with what's there, we're putting to practice what Jack Kornfield suggests in these quotes. I'll read it to you one more time. He says, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. And very simply, we're creating compassion for sadness, for anger, for fear. He says, the emotional wisdom of the heart is simple. When we accept our human feelings, a remarkable transformation occurs. Tenderness and wisdom arise naturally and spontaneously. When we accept our human feelings, tenderness and wisdom arise naturally. If I can sit and listen to sadness, anger, fear, tenderness and wisdom arise naturally. He says, as we willingly enter each place of fear, each place of deficiency, each place of insecurity in ourselves, we will discover that its walls are made of untruths, of old images of ourselves, of ancient fears, of false ideas of what is pure and what is not. In the moment that you can sit and listen to sadness, to anger, to fear, you are not being sadness or anger or fear. You're being something different. You're being a different part of you. He's already told us that wisdom arises. You're being the wisest part of you. When you can hold a space for these childhood parts and listen. And then, when you understand where they are coming from, there's an opportunity to speak to them from wisdom. How would wisdom now speak to sadness? What does sadness need to hear from your wisdom? From wisdom, you can now choose how to speak to anger. What does anger need to hear from your wisdom? And from wisdom, you can now choose to speak to fear. What does fear need to hear from your wisdom? But first, they all just need acceptance. They need your open arms to hold them and tell them that no matter how they feel, you will always have a space to hold them. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to have acceptance for every part of me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that when I have acceptance for every part of me, that does not mean I'm indulging these parts of me. Having acceptance for sadness and anger and fear does not mean I'm indulging how they're feeling. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that when I have acceptance for every part of me, what it makes me is the strongest part of me. It makes me be my wisdom. It makes me embody my soul, so that I have the ability to hold these inner children, and by holding them, heal them. Take a deep breath in. When we're able to hold a space for everything we experience, everything we feel, then we unlock our real strength. And from the strongest part of us, we can now choose how to take the next step. Does the next step always have to be so fearful? Just because I'm creating the space to listen to fear does not mean I will keep walking in fear. In fact, I'll probably walk in wisdom, because I was able to listen to what fear had to say. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for learning how to have your arms open to every part of you. And trust that that does not mean we indulge those attributes. But they will never feel better until we give them a place to come and rest. Thank you, Beatrix. Katrin, a very good morning. It's great seeing you. Hello. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Anami. Thank you, Sunmarie. I trust that your heart is open and full of softness for every part of you. Lots of love to you all. Ciao, ciao.